February 2025. A police interview room in Eddy County, New Mexico. Detectives sit across from a 32-year-old man named Manuel Guillen. They've been investigating him for months. They know he's lying. They have autopsy results that don't match his story. And in the next 15 minutes, they're going to break him. What comes out of his mouth will be one of the most disturbing confessions ever captured on police Bodycam. This is the story of Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno and the man who killed her. Before we get into this case, if you want to stay updated on criminal cases that are breaking right now, cases with new developments, confessions, and trials happening in real time, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this isn't just another true crime channel. We cover cases as they unfold, and what you're about to see happened just weeks ago. The Bodycam footage we're analyzing was released to the public on February 26, 2025. This is as current as it gets. Drop a comment right now. Have you heard about this case? Because if you haven't, you're about to learn everything. And if you have, stay anyway because we're going deep into details most coverage missed. Content warning before we begin. This video discusses the death of an infant, child abuse, drug use, and contains descriptions of violence against a child. We present this information for educational purposes to understand how this case was investigated and solved. We do not sensationalize the suffering of victims. Baby Khalanie deserves to have her story told with respect and dignity. If you're sensitive to these topics, please consider whether you want to continue watching. Let's start with what the public saw first. On February 26, 2025, news outlets in New Mexico began releasing Bodycam footage from the Eddy County Sheriff's Office. The footage showed an interview conducted earlier that month with Manuel Guillen, and within minutes of the interview starting, Guillen confesses to killing a 2-month-old baby, his girlfriend's daughter, a child named Khalanie Sue Moreno. The confession went viral immediately. TikTok videos breaking down the Bodycam got millions of views. Twitter threads analyzing his words spread across the platform. Reddit true crime communities exploded with discussions. And the reason it went so viral is because of how chilling the confession is, how quickly he breaks, how matter-of-factly he describes what he did, and how absolutely horrifying the truth turned out to be. But to understand the confession, you need to understand the context. You need to know who Manuel Guillen is, who Baby Khalanie was, and how we got to that police interview room in February 2025. Manuel Thomas Guillen Jr. was born in 1992, making him 32 years old at the time of his arrest. He's from Carlsbad, New Mexico, a small city in the southeastern part of the state near the Texas border. Carlsbad has a population of about 30,000 people. It's known primarily for Carlsbad Caverns National Park, a massive cave system that attracts tourists. But beyond that, it's a relatively quiet place. Oil and gas industry, ranching. Not the kind of place where you expect national news stories to originate. Guillen's background before this case isn't widely documented in public records. What we know is that by 2023, he was in a relationship with a woman named Brianna Ariel Stallings, and Brianna had a baby daughter, Khalanie Sue Moreno. Brianna Ariel Stallings was 25 years old at the time of the crime, born in 1998. She was a young mother living in Carlsbad. Khalanie was born in 2023, and by all accounts from family members, she was a healthy baby. Medical records from her birth and her 2-week checkup showed no complications, no health issues, no signs of injury or abuse at that early stage. She was a normal, healthy infant. Brianna and Manuel were living together, apparently in unstable housing situations. According to family members who spoke to investigators, the couple would stay with relatives for periods of time, then leave. They didn't have a permanent residence. They were moving around, and they had Khalanie with them. One critical detail about Manuel Guillen that becomes important later: he was using fentanyl. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that's about 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. It's incredibly potent, incredibly addictive, and increasingly common in drug overdoses across America. Guillen would later admit to investigators that he was regularly using fentanyl, snorting pills that he obtained illegally. This drug use is going to be central to what happens next. In October 2023, something happened. Khalanie Sue Moreno was 2 months old. She was with her mother Brianna and Brianna's boyfriend Manuel, and one day in October, Khalanie died. The circumstances of her death were not immediately known to anyone outside that household. What is known is that Brianna and Manuel did not call 911. They did not take the baby to a hospital. They did not report her death to authorities. Instead, they wrapped her body in a blanket, placed her in a trash bag, and buried her in a remote location off Queen Highway near State Road 137 in Eddy County, and then they lied about it for 11 months. When family members asked where Khalanie was, Brianna and Manuel gave vague answers. They said she was with a friend. They said she was being taken care of by someone else. But they never provided names, addresses, or contact information. They were evasive. They avoided the questions. And over time, family members became increasingly suspicious. Think about this for a moment. A baby disappears. The mother and her boyfriend can't explain where the baby is. They give contradictory stories. They refuse to provide details. For almost an entire year, they maintain this deception. And during that time, Khalani's body is buried in the desert, hidden from the world, while the people responsible for her death go about their lives pretending she's somewhere safe. By September 2024, family members had had enough. They knew something was wrong. A baby doesn't just disappear for 11 months without explanation. Family members contacted the Carlsbad Police Department and reported Khalanie as missing. They told police they hadn't seen the child in months. They gave police the names of the people who should know where she is: Brianna Stallings and Manuel Guillen. On September 6, 2024, the Carlsbad Police Department contacted the Eddy County Sheriff's Office with a lead regarding a missing infant. Both agencies responded. Detectives from Carlsbad PD and deputies from the Eddy County Sheriff's Office went to interview Brianna and Manuel. They asked the question that family members had been asking for months: where is Khalanie? Initially, the couple stuck to their story. They said Khalanie was with a friend. But when pressed for details, names, addresses, anything that could be verified, they couldn't provide anything. The story fell apart under the slightest scrutiny. Police weren't buying it. They kept pushing. And eventually, Brianna's story changed. According to what Brianna told investigators on September 6, 2024, Khalanie had died almost a year earlier. Brianna said that in September 2023, she and Manuel were living in their car. One night, Brianna accidentally rolled over onto Khalanie while sleeping in the vehicle. She said she woke up and realized the baby wasn't breathing. She said they tried CPR. Manuel tried to revive the baby, but it didn't work. Khalanie was dead. And rather than calling 911, rather than seeking help, rather than reporting what happened, they panicked. They wrapped the baby's body in a blanket and a trash bag, and they buried her. Brianna led investigators to the location. Queen Highway near State Road 137 around milepost 48. It's a desolate area. Desert landscape. Minimal traffic. The kind of place where you could dig a shallow grave and reasonably expect it to go undiscovered for a long time. Deputies and detectives followed Brianna to the site. And there, buried in the dirt, they found the remains of Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno. The recovery of a child's body is always a solemn, heartbreaking moment for law enforcement. These are professionals who deal with death regularly, but finding a baby's remains, hidden for 11 months, wrapped in a trash bag, buried by the people who were supposed to protect her, it's a scene that stays with investigators forever. The remains were carefully recovered and transported to the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator for autopsy and identification. At this point, based on Brianna's story, investigators were looking at a potential case of accidental death and improper disposal of a body. If what Brianna said was true, if she accidentally suffocated the baby while co-sleeping in a car, that would be a tragic accident, though the failure to report it and the burial would still be crimes. Tampering with evidence. Improper disposal of human remains. Serious charges, but not murder. But investigators didn't just take Brianna's word for it. They waited for the autopsy. And the autopsy told a very different story. The New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator conducted a full forensic autopsy on Khalani's remains. It took months. Autopsies on infant remains that have been buried for extended periods are complex. Decomposition, environmental factors, all of these things affect the examination. But forensic pathologists are trained to identify injuries even in compromised remains. And what they found didn't match Brianna's story at all. The autopsy revealed that Khalanie had suffered multiple traumatic injuries at or around the time of death. She had a broken leg, specifically fractures to her femur. She had broken ribs. Multiple ribs on her left side were fractured. And these injuries were inconsistent with accidental death during co-sleeping. These were traumatic injuries, inflicted injuries. The kind of injuries that come from significant force. When a baby dies from accidental suffocation or positional asphyxia during co-sleeping, there are typically no broken bones. The death is caused by airway obstruction or compression of the chest that prevents breathing, but it doesn't involve the kind of blunt force trauma that breaks bones. Fractured femurs and ribs in a 2-month-old infant are red flags for abuse. They indicate that something violent happened to this child. The autopsy results came back in December 2024, and at that point, the Eddy County Sheriff's Office knew they weren't dealing with an accidental death. They were dealing with homicide, child abuse resulting in death, and someone had lied about what really happened. Detectives had to figure out who was responsible. Was it Brianna, the mother, who had lied initially about the baby being with a friend and then changed her story to accidental suffocation? Or was it Manuel, the boyfriend, who had been present when Khalanie died and who had helped bury her body? Investigators began building a case. They interviewed family members. They reviewed medical records from Khalanie's birth and checkups to establish that she had no pre-existing injuries. They talked to people who knew Brianna and Manuel, and one detail that emerged from family interviews was significant. Manuel Guillen's father told investigators that he had witnessed arguments between Manuel and Brianna and that they would yell at each other when the baby cried. This suggested a pattern of frustration with the baby's crying, a potential motive. Armed with autopsy results that contradicted the accidental death story and with witness statements suggesting frustration with the baby, detectives decided to re-interview Brianna and Manuel. If one of them was lying to protect the other, confronting them with the medical evidence might break the lie. And that's exactly what happened. In February 2025, detectives from the Eddy County Sheriff's Office brought Manuel Guillen in for an interview. This is the interview that was recorded on Bodycam and later released to the public. This is the confession that went viral, and this is where the truth finally came out. The interview took place in a standard police interview room. Small, table in the center, chairs on either side. Manuel Guillen sits on one side, detectives sit across from him. The bodycam footage shows Guillen wearing civilian clothes. He's calm at first, not visibly distressed. He knows why he's there. He knows they found the body, but he's sticking to the story that Brianna accidentally suffocated the baby. The detectives don't waste time. They tell Guillen that they have the autopsy results. They tell him that the injuries on Khalanie's body don't match the story about accidental suffocation. They tell him that the broken leg, the broken ribs, these are not injuries that happen when someone rolls over on a baby. These are inflicted injuries. Someone hurt this baby, and they want to know what really happened. Guillen's demeanor starts to shift. He knows they know. The lie isn't working anymore. But he doesn't confess immediately. He tries to explain the injuries. He says that when they found Khalanie not breathing, he tried CPR. He says he did chest compressions. He says he did them hard, over and over, trying to revive her. He says maybe that's where the broken ribs came from. He suggests that in his panic to save the baby, he might have been too aggressive with the CPR and accidentally broke her ribs. Detectives don't buy it. They point out that the broken femur, the broken leg, can't be explained by CPR. You don't do chest compressions on a baby's thigh. That's not where CPR is performed. And even aggressive CPR on an infant, while it can occasionally cause rib fractures if done improperly, doesn't result in the pattern of injuries Khalanie had. The detectives press him. They tell him they know he's lying. They tell him they need the truth. And then, about 15 minutes into the interview, Manuel Guillen breaks. He stops trying to maintain the lie. And he tells them what really happened. What he says is horrifying. Guillen tells the detectives that on the day Khalanie died, he had taken fentanyl. He had snorted 2 fentanyl pills. He was high. And while he was high, Khalanie started crying. She was 2 months old. Babies cry. It's what they do. But on this day, Guillen couldn't handle it. He was irritated. He was high on fentanyl. The baby's crying was bothering him. He wanted her to stop, so he grabbed her. He grabbed her by the leg. That's where the broken femur came from. He grabbed a 2-month-old baby by her leg with enough force to fracture the bone. And then, he says, he sat on her. He sat on her face. He put his body weight on this tiny infant's face to make her stop crying. He sat on her until she stopped. Let that sink in for a moment. A 32-year-old man, high on fentanyl, annoyed by a baby's crying, grabbed that baby by the leg hard enough to break it, and then sat on her face until she stopped breathing, until she died. That's what Manuel Guillen confessed to doing. That's the truth of how Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno died. The detectives listening to this confession remain professional, but you can hear the weight of what he's saying in the room. This isn't an accident. This isn't a tragic mistake. This is intentional abuse. This is a man who killed a helpless infant because she was crying and he didn't want to deal with it. After Khalanie stopped breathing, Guillen says he tried CPR. That's where the broken ribs came from, according to him. He performed CPR over and over, he claims more than 100 times. trying to revive her. But she was already dead. He had suffocated her. The CPR was useless. At that point, he says, he and Brianna panicked. They didn't call 911. They didn't take her to a hospital. They didn't report what happened. Instead, they wrapped her body in a blanket, put it in a trash bag, took her out to Queen Highway, and buried her in a shallow grave in the desert. And then they spent the next 11 months lying about where she was, making up stories about her being with friends, avoiding family members who asked questions, pretending everything was fine. The body cam footage of this confession is chilling because of how calmly Guillen delivers it. He's not emotional. He's not crying. He's not breaking down. He's just explaining what he did in a matter-of-fact way. I was high on fentanyl. The baby wouldn't stop crying. I sat on her face until she stopped. He says it like he's describing something mundane. And that lack of emotion, that detachment, is what makes the footage so disturbing to watch. Detectives asked him why. Why did he do it? Why did he sit on a baby's face? And his answer is simple and infuriating. He was high. She was crying. He wanted her to stop. That's it. There's no elaborate explanation, no complex motive. Just a drugged man who was annoyed by a baby crying and decided the solution was to suffocate her. After the confession, detectives asked about Brianna's involvement. Did she know what really happened? Was she in the room when he killed Khalanie? Guillen's answers on this point are somewhat unclear from the public footage that's been released. What is clear is that both Brianna and Manuel participated in the cover-up. Both of them buried the baby. Both of them lied to family. Both of them maintained the deception for 11 months. Whether Brianna knew the full truth about how Khalanie died, or whether she believed it was an accident, is something that will likely come out in trial. After the confession, Manuel Guillen was formally arrested and charged with intentional abuse of a child resulting in death. This is one of the most serious charges in New Mexico law. It means that he intentionally committed an act of abuse against a child, and that abuse directly resulted in the child's death. The charge carries severe penalties. In New Mexico, intentional child abuse resulting in death can carry a sentence of life in prison. Guillen was also charged with tampering with evidence, because he and Brianna buried the body and concealed the death from authorities for 11 months. Tampering with evidence is a separate felony charge that acknowledges the deliberate attempt to hide the crime. Brianna Ariel Stallings was also arrested on the same day, February 19, 2025. She was charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy to commit tampering with evidence. The conspiracy charge means that she and Guillen worked together to cover up the death, to hide the body, and to lie to investigators. As of now, Brianna has not been charged with Khalani's death itself. The evidence points to Manuel as the person who inflicted the fatal injuries, but Brianna's charges are still serious. Tampering with evidence in a case involving the death of a child can carry significant prison time. Both Manuel Guillen and Brianna Stallings are currently being held at the Eddy County Detention Center awaiting trial. They were initially released on bond shortly after their arrest, according to some court records, but the status of their detention has fluctuated as the case proceeds through the legal system. As of the time this video is being made, they are in custody awaiting trial. The Eddy County Sheriff, Matt Hutchinson, spoke to media after the arrests. He said that the investigation took months because they wanted to build a strong, prosecutable case. He said that the autopsy results were critical to understanding what really happened, and that without those results, they wouldn't have been able to confront Guillen with the evidence that led to his confession. Sheriff Hutchinson praised the detectives who worked the case and said that getting justice for Khalanie was the priority. The case has generated significant attention in New Mexico and nationally. Local news outlets covered the arrests extensively. When the body cam footage was released on February 26, 2025, it went viral on social media. True crime communities online have been discussing the case in depth, and there's a lot of anger. Anger at what was done to this baby. Anger at the 11-month cover-up. Anger at the fact that a defenseless infant was killed because a drugged man couldn't handle her crying. There's also been discussion about the role of fentanyl in this case. Guillen admitted he was high on fentanyl when he killed Khalanie. Fentanyl impairs judgment, reduces impulse control, and can make people irritable and aggressive. It doesn't excuse what he did. Millions of people use drugs, including opioids, without harming children, but it does provide context. A man high on one of the most powerful opioids in existence lost control when confronted with a crying baby, and the result was the death of that baby. It's a reminder of how dangerous fentanyl is, not just to the user, but to everyone around them. Some people have asked whether Brianna should face more serious charges. She was the mother. She was responsible for protecting Khalanie. If she knew that Manuel had killed the baby and she helped cover it up, should she be charged with child abuse or endangerment or something beyond tampering with evidence? These are questions that prosecutors will have to answer as they decide how to proceed with her case. It's possible that additional charges could be filed. It's also possible that Brianna will cooperate with prosecutors and testify against Manuel in exchange for a plea deal. We don't know yet how that will play out. What we do know is that Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno died at 2 months old. She never had a chance to grow up. She never had a chance to walk, to talk, to go to school, to live a life. Her life was ended by someone who was supposed to be helping to care for her. And her death was hidden for nearly a year while the people responsible pretended nothing had happened. Khalani's family, the relatives who reported her missing, are grieving. They knew something was wrong for months. They pushed for answers. And when the truth finally came out, it was worse than they feared. Losing a child is unimaginable. Losing a child to violence at the hands of someone who was supposed to protect her is a trauma that will stay with this family forever. There are broader issues raised by this case that are worth discussing. Child abuse is a pervasive problem in America. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, approximately 650,000 children are victims of abuse or neglect every year in the United States. And tragically, about 1-800 children die from abuse or neglect annually. These numbers are staggering. These are children who depend on adults for everything, and those adults fail them, hurt them, or kill them. Infants are at the highest risk. Children under 1-year-old have the highest rate of victimization, and babies under 1-year-old account for nearly half of all child abuse fatalities. Why? Because babies are completely helpless. They can't defend themselves. They can't run away. They can't tell anyone what's happening. And they cry. They cry when they're hungry, tired, uncomfortable, or sick. Crying is their only form of communication. And for caregivers who are stressed, exhausted, or impaired by drugs or alcohol, that crying can become unbearable. There's a term called shaken baby syndrome, or abusive head trauma, which describes injuries that occur when a caregiver violently shakes an infant, usually out of frustration with crying. The shaking causes brain damage, bleeding, and often death. Khalani's case isn't shaken baby syndrome, but it's the same underlying dynamic. An adult who can't cope with a crying baby and responds with violence. Public health campaigns have tried to educate parents and caregivers about the dangers of shaking babies and the importance of recognizing when you're overwhelmed. Organizations like the National Center on Shaken Baby Syndrome provide resources on what to do when a baby won't stop crying. The advice is simple. If you're feeling overwhelmed, put the baby in a safe place like a crib, leave the room, and take a break. Call someone for help. It's okay to walk away for a few minutes to calm down. What's not okay is to hurt the baby. If Manuel Guillen had known this, if he had been in a state of mind to apply it, Khalanie might still be alive. But he was high on fentanyl, and he made a choice that ended a baby's life. Another issue this case raises is the problem of co-sleeping and unsafe sleep environments for infants. Brianna initially claimed that Khalanie died from accidental suffocation while co-sleeping in a car. While that story turned out to be a lie, co-sleeping deaths are real and they happen. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that infants sleep alone, on their backs, in a crib or bassinet, without blankets, pillows, or stuffed animals. Co-sleeping with an adult, especially in a car or on a couch, significantly increases the risk of suffocation or sudden infant death syndrome. Parents who are exhausted, who don't have stable housing, who are living in cars or unstable situations, are at higher risk of unsafe sleep arrangements. This is a public health issue that needs more attention and support. But in Khalani's case, the unsafe sleep story was a cover for murder. The real danger wasn't co-sleeping, it was Manuel Guillen. As this case moves forward, there will be a trial. Manuel Guillen will face a jury. The prosecution will present the evidence, the autopsy showing traumatic injuries, the confession on Bodycam where he admits to sitting on the baby's face, the lies he told for 11 months. The defense will have to decide how to proceed. Do they argue that he was too impaired by fentanyl to form intent? Do they try to negotiate a plea deal? Do they go to trial and hope for jury sympathy? It's hard to imagine a defense strategy that works given the confession, but defense attorneys have a job to do. Brianna Stallings will also face trial on her charges. The evidence against her includes her participation in burying the body and lying to investigators. Whether she knew the full truth about how Khalanie died will be a key question. If she knew that Manuel killed the baby and helped cover it up, that makes her an accessory. If she genuinely believed it was an accident and was manipulated by Manuel, that might mitigate her culpability to some degree. but she still buried her own child and lied about it for 11 months. There's no version of this story where she's blameless. Sentences in cases like this vary depending on the specifics of the charges and the jurisdiction. In New Mexico, intentional child abuse resulting in death can result in a life sentence. Tampering with evidence can carry several years in prison. If both Manuel and Brianna are convicted, they're likely facing significant prison time. Manuel, if convicted of the intentional abuse charge, could spend the rest of his life in prison. Brianna, if convicted on tampering charges, could face several years behind bars. Justice for Khalanie means holding the people responsible for her death accountable. It means ensuring that Manuel Guillen faces the full consequences of what he did. It means acknowledging that a baby's life had value, and that taking that life is a crime that cannot be excused or minimized. And it means hopefully preventing future cases like this by raising awareness about child abuse, drug abuse, and the importance of protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. If you or someone you know is struggling with caring for an infant, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're worried you might hurt a child, please reach out for help. The National Child Abuse Hotline is 1-800-4A-CHILD. That's 1-800-422-4453. It's available 24/7, and trained counselors can provide support and resources. If you're struggling with drug addiction, the SAMHSA National Helpline is 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. These resources exist to help people before tragedies happen. Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno deserved better. She deserved to grow up safe and loved. She deserved caregivers who would protect her, not hurt her, and she deserved justice. The confession we've analyzed in this video is a step toward that justice, but the legal process is just beginning. In the next video in this series, we're going to go back to September 2024 and walk through the investigation. How did the family know something was wrong? What made them finally report Khalanie missing? How did detectives break through the lies and find the body? And what evidence did they gather that led to the confession you just heard about? If you want to understand the full story of how this case was solved, make sure you're subscribed because that video is coming next. This case is still developing. There will be court hearings, trial dates, and potentially new revelations as the legal process unfolds. We'll be following it and providing updates as they happen. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. Drop a comment and let me know. Had you heard about this case before? What do you think should happen to Manuel Guillen and Brianna Stallings? And if there's anything you want covered in the next video, let me know in the comments. Baby Khalanie Sue Moreno, 2 months old. Gone too soon, but not forgotten.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Kiddo's home?
Yeah, they're sleeping.
Police are speaking with Manuel Guillen Sr. Living inside his trailer are his son Manny and his girlfriend Brianna. They've been hiding a horrifying secret from their families that this detective is about to uncover.
Hey Manny, hey Brianna, got your pocket
Yeah.
for me? You guys know why I'm out here trying to talk to you guys. So.
Carlsbad, call 214 for interrogation.
A year ago, the couple killed their daughter, buried her body in the woods near their trailer, and continued living as if nothing happened. Over time, Brianna's family began to grow suspicious, tipping off police that something is seriously wrong. By the time investigators catch on to the lies, both killers would walk free, leaving their families and detectives to confront one of the darkest and most tragic discoveries of their lives.
They killed her. I know we did.
And I know you've been lying to us. Tell us what happened.
Right there?
Yeah, she's very good.
This is the home of Aurelia and Manuel Sr., the parents of Manny Guillen. Police believe Manny is connected to a missing child investigation. 2 days ago, Eddy County deputies received a troubling call from relatives of Manny's girlfriend, 24-year-old Brianna Stallings, reporting something concerning about her daughter.
We were concerned about my cousin. Her name is Brianna Stallings, and we've never seen her with her baby anymore. She blocked us all on social media and everything. She's with a guy named Manny Guillen.
Brianna's cousin would go on to explain that the family hasn't seen Brianna's daughter in nearly a year, and that one of the last places the child was seen alive is right here, at the residence of Manny's parents. These officers are here simply to conduct a welfare check. Unknowingly, they are moments away from stepping into one of the most disturbing murder investigations of their careers.
I
can't see.
Hi.
Hello.
Sergeant around the sheriff's office. Hi, how are you, sir?
Very good. Manuel Guillen.
Nice to meet you, Manuel.
Hi.
Officer, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Is anyone else here?
No.
Just you two?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we go talk over here? Would that be okay? I'm just gonna talk with them real quick. Do you know if baby?
Well, what I heard already, yes, I know what happened already. When I know that she was with my son, because one day they appeared over there, he had a problem, so she don't have nobody they take care of her. But she's pregnant. She's pregnant.
Did you know if the baby had been born? Did you ever see the baby?
When they born, they were together. They were together, and like I told you,
According to Manny's father, Brianna appeared estranged from her own family. She didn't seem to have anyone looking out for her and slowly began leaning on Manny and his parents as she went through her pregnancy. On the surface, Manny's father seems unaware that anything might be wrong with Brianna's daughter. But officers are about to learn he may know far more about the missing child than he realizes.
So when she had the baby, where were they living?
After they had a baby, they went with me maybe a week, 2 weeks over there, and they went somewhere else.
So right after they had the baby, they lived with you for a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, and then they leave again. They communicate with us someday, yeah, and then they disappear because they were driving like where they were staying. I don't know. I respect her. I never treated bad, never, because I opened my door to her too.
Yeah.
But I never treated bad. I treated with my heart.
Through the language barrier, officers are able to piece together more of this story. Manny's father goes on to explain that his son served in the Marines and that he believed Manny cared deeply for Brianna's daughter and took good care of her. He also says that he tried to help the couple, allowing them to stay with him, offering support and showing sympathy for Brianna's situation after she became estranged from her own family. However, he also admits the couple were unstable. They would stay for a while, then disappear again. At the time, Manny's father believed he was doing the right thing, helping a struggling couple get back on their feet, but he has no idea that this will become the biggest regret of his life. Before leaving the place, officers also speak briefly with Manny's mother, who'd have some concerning statements about the couple.
So Manuel and Brianna never lived there when you were there?
Iban y venían.
They'd come and go.
Coming with the baby?
No, la baby no nació
She
en julio.
wasn't at the house there when the baby was there.
Okay.
She
Have you ever
visited and that's it.
Okay.
Manny's mother would speak to officers in Spanish. She tells them that every time she asked Brianna and Manny about their daughter, the couple told her the child was with a family member. But she leaves out several concerning details about what was really going on in Manny's life. Details officers will soon uncover on their own. For now, police leave the residence with more questions than answers. They still don't know where Brianna and Manny are, and they still have no idea where their daughter might be. But just as they prepare to leave, Manny's brother pulls up to the house. Detectives quickly approach to speak with him, where they'll get their first real lead on where Brianna's daughter might be.
Your mom's a cool lady. God, I completely forgot about Susan, man.
I'm Detective Johnson, man.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Hey, so
Yes.
we just talked to your mom.
Nobody's in trouble.
Yeah, no, we're...
But see, I have no idea why the family contacted you guys. I told her to call me if she had any questions, that I would give her any information that I had, and I did that.
Called who?
Is
it Brianna or her family member?
Her
or
aunt.
Okay.
I got the messages right here.
And have you talked to Brianna or Manuel at all, or?
I talked to Brianna maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Have you seen her? Did she have her baby with her? Or?
I have not seen the baby since. It's been a couple of months now. Probably like 3, maybe more. I was 1 or 2. I was like, I haven't seen her in a while. Is she okay? And she had told me that one of her aunts was taking care of her.
No, I got you.
Although Manny's brother reassures officers that the couple's child is with one of Brianna's aunts, he admits he hasn't seen her daughter in months and doesn't sound fully convinced by Brianna's story. Following this, detectives begin contacting Brianna's family. One by one, every one of her aunts tell the same thing. They do not have her daughter. One of Brianna's aunts, Ruby, insists detectives come speak with her in person because she's seen and heard troubling details about Brianna and Manny's relationship they need to look into. When detectives arrive to speak with Ruby, they'll quickly realize there's more to the story than a missing child.
Hello. Are you Ruby?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Ruby. I'm Detective Johnson. We spoke on the phone?
Yes.
I think you said you had some.
Yes, come on in.
Baby's right there.
Come here, baby.
Is that alright if I come in?
Yes, come on in.
Thank you.
I know something's going on because when Brianna was pregnant, she was here with me and she left. I raised Brianna since age 6. And I spoke to her brother earlier. I called him on my lunch break.
Is it Brian?
Brian.
Brian, okay.
And asked him, hey, what's going on? I said, have you met your niece? Have you seen her? He says, no, I haven't. Because when she had her baby that day, she called me.
Yeah, and then you went to the hospital.
Yeah, I went right away, and he kind of got mad, the guy she's with.
Manny?
Yeah, because I was taking pictures.
She was already with Manny.
Yes. And he kind of got mad, and he whispered in her ear, and he walked out of the room. And I'm like, and I said, he's mad, huh? I told Brianna he got mad. She goes, yeah, don't pay attention to him.
What the detective is hearing now isn't just concerning, it's deeply unsettling. It's the first time the relationship between Brianna and Manny begins to sound volatile and potentially dangerous. Ruby doesn't know it yet, but her intuition is spot on, and in just a matter of days, she will be told the most horrific truth imaginable about her grandniece. For now, the detective leaves Ruby's home and heads back to the station, knowing they need to move quickly and locate Brianna and Manny. What Ruby shared was troubling, but it's only the beginning, and far worse revelations are still to come. 2 days pass with no sign of the couple or their child. Then, a call comes in from a woman named Desiree, who identifies herself as Brianna's former roommate. She's heard about the missing child and has important information about Brianna's boyfriend Manny, details his own family never shared with police.
The only reason that everything kind of worries me is just she fell off and she just didn't talk to nobody. And then this kind of happened, you know.
Do you know why she's kind of disassociated herself from other people?
Her and Manny were fighting so bad. He said he didn't want the baby. He has a son, and I'm pretty sure that he had got that baby taken away because he beat the shit out of the baby. And so he doesn't have that kid no more. The mom has the kid. Brianna, she lived with my mom for 2 years. She lived with me for 1.5 years. I've always been trying to help her out and stuff. Well, when she was pregnant, he had said that he didn't want to be with her. He didn't want the baby. He doesn't want a kid. That's why he got rid of his other kid. So it kind of worries me on that part, you know.
Needless to say, Desiree's call paints a disturbing picture of the couple. If Manny already lost custody of his own child due to abuse, then there's every possibility that Brianna's big daughter may have suffered the same fate. Together, the pair comes across as volatile, irresponsible, and deeply unfit, a dynamic that only adds more urgency for the detectives to locate them and find the missing child. The next day, as detectives begin mapping out their next steps, they finally receive a tip on the couple's whereabouts. Brianna and Manny are staying at a trailer belonging to Manny's father. Officers immediately drive to the address, hoping to finally speak with the couple directly and get their side of the story.
Police department.
Several minutes pass with no answer. Then the officer knocks again. When Brianna and Manny finally step out of the trailer, it's clear they already know why the police are here, and they have a story prepared.
Hey, so, I'm Detective Johnson, by the way. Sorry, do you guys know why I'm out here trying to talk to you guys?
It's because I heard, I guess my family speak and talking to his family.
Do you know about what?
I guess
the baby.
They said that they reported her missing because they haven't heard for her from over.
That's why I'm involved as a detective, you know what I mean? Just because stuff like that gets passed on to us. So, where's your baby at right now?
She's with a friend.
Where's that?
In Juarez.
In Juarez? Okay. Who's your friend in Juarez?
Her name's Maria.
Maria. If you don't mind, I'm just going to talk to you guys individually real quick, and then I'm going to talk to both of you quick. So can you just hang out with him for a minute?
Sure.
And can I talk to you over here?
Yeah.
So, obviously, I don't know your personal life. I don't know anybody. I'm just trying to get it all figured out, and
No, that's fine. I'm just mad because...
you're upset.
Yeah, because I don't talk to them at all.
What's
they're annoying, and they're all in my life, and that's one reason why I told her, because I used to live with my Aunt Ruth. She would put me through hell.
Like what?
Like, she would always yell at me and say I'm stupid, and I don't know what I'm doing, this, and that. So, I don't like her knowing anything of what I'm doing. She gets very annoying. And then, like, her dog coming over here, seeing, like, all my business and whatnot. That's one reason why I blocked them.
Is your friend, I mean, did you take your baby down there? Or
Yeah, I put her down so she can take care of her, because I'm going to get a lot of stuff for her.
So how'd you guys end up, so when did that happen? So
That happened,
when did you
like,
hand her over to
2
Maria?
months ago.
2 months ago.
Brianna's explanation sounds reasonable. Her family constantly interferes in her life, and she doesn't want to deal with them. She even speaks negatively about her aunt, Ruby, claiming she was never supportive of her. Nothing about Brianna's story immediately raises alarms, so to verify the details, the officer moves on to speak with Manny separately to cross-check what Brianna has already said. This is when a small discrepancy surfaces, one that will mark the beginning of the couple's story falling apart.
Hey man, so, can you kind of just give me the rundown of everything going on?
Alrighty, so as far as I know, like, her family's been trying to get a hold of her, because I guess they haven't been in touch and want to know how she's doing and the baby's doing. And she spoke to a couple of family members. I think it was her aunt or brother or something like that, because they messaged her. And she told them to, like, yeah, we're doing okay, like, you guys don't got to worry about nothing. And then they were like, okay, well, just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And then after that, then they started, my mom told me, she's all like, oh, hey, there's detectives here at my house, like, trying to figure out, like, because you guys are missing or something. You guys haven't, like, talked to the family? Or, like, dude, like, what the f***? Like, she's talked to her aunts or someone. She's talked to a couple of family members and let them know, like, everything was okay. And, like, they're still doing this. So, yeah, I don't know.
So the baby's in Juarez?
Mm-hmm.
When did that happen? Roughly the day or the month?
Probably, like,
beginning of the year? Like,
Can you give me a card for the 300 block of Montclair?
Like February?
For the 18th.
Do they give you an address, or like how are you guys supposed to get in contact, or what's the plan? Is she gonna go back for a baby at some point?
So as far as I knew, it's like once we got good, we were gonna be, I guess she was gonna be hitting us up back then. So that's all I know, so.
Not only does Manny give a completely different time frame for when Brianna's daughter was given away, but he also can't provide any basic details for the supposed friend the child was given to. When the officer circles back to Brianna with the same question, she can't answer it either, and offers no way to verify that this friend even exists. At this point, the officer's suspicion grows, and with the inconsistencies piling up, he makes the call to detain the couple and bring them to the station for further questioning. Once at the station, Brianna and Manny are placed into separate interview rooms. They still don't know their stories don't match, and investigators intend to keep it that way. This is the police's only chance to finally figure out what really happened to Brianna's daughter and who's responsible. As for the couple, one wrong answer could expose the horrifying secret they've been hiding for months.
And so, how'd you get in contact with Maria?
Through WhatsApp.
Through WhatsApp?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Yeah. I said 2 months. I told you that.
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the day?
I don't remember the day.
Do you have the messages on WhatsApp from Maria?
This is the new phone. Another one number. I can't even remember the number either. It was like all kinds of, WhatsApp 011 something. Yeah, I don't.
How do you get in contact with her to check on the
She
baby?
told me she was gonna get a Facebook and like make one and talk to me through. I personally don't. That's all she told me.
And you haven't talked to Maria?
Ever since then.
You haven't talked to her since El Paso.
How do we just make sure Khalani's okay, Manuel? Because Brianna doesn't seem to know how we can just ensure that Khalani's safe. If you think about it, that's kind of disturbing a little bit, that a mother maybe not a little bit more concerned about, just helping us ensure that the child is safe.
As far as I know sometimes she has problems with her phone, and she like kind of has a hard time getting paid. So maybe it's like she probably hasn't paid her phone bill. The only thing I can say is probably just wait for her until she gets her phone fixed and probably contact us back on WhatsApp.
As expected, Brianna and Manny stick to their conflicting story. But more importantly is that neither of them show any concern for their daughter's well-being, despite not seeing or hearing anything from the supposed friend for weeks. What the couple doesn't know yet is that detectives have already followed up on the supposed friend Brianna mentioned and discovered that no such person exists. By now, it's painfully obvious to investigators that both Brianna and Manny are lying. So detectives decide it's time to lay out what they believe really happened to Brianna's big daughter and confront her directly.
Brianna, we need you to just be truthful with us. A lot of the stuff you said is just not making any sense, and it's kind of hard to wrap our minds around the kind of the lack of concern you're showing. I mean, we just need the truth. We need to make sure Khalani's okay. I mean, we get it. Stuff happens. You know, people go through hard times. We understand that.
Something happened, something that you don't, whether or not Khalani's okay or not, something happened. After this happened, you guys discussed this, tried to come up with a story talking about a person that we know nothing about, with no proof that Marie even exists. So what happened? Mistakes happen, Brianna. What you do right now is what matters. Right?
Brianna finally breaks and confesses to killing her daughter. After this admission, she becomes visibly emotional, and for several minutes, detectives are unable to get clear answers from her. As they slowly piece together her statements, a story begins to form. Brianna claims she fell asleep on her daughter while they were in the car, accidentally suffocating her. Panicked, she and Manny buried her daughter's body in a remote wooded area where it has remained for nearly a year. After the confession, detectives decide to give Brianna a few minutes alone to collect herself, and to reconsider the story she's choosing to tell. Because even now, she's taking full responsibility and insisting Manny had no part in what happened. When detectives return to the room, they know what they need to do next. Convince Brianna to be honest about Manny's role and where her daughter's body is buried.
Hi, Brianna. Hi, Brianna. How are you? I'm Sergeant Rodder. Doing okay?
Sergeant Marion. Can we get you anything? Do you need water or anything? Do you need a snack?
Okay. So we kind of got a good understanding of what's going on, okay? You're not in any kind of trouble right now. We want to do what we can to help you, okay? With, I guess, you being willing to help us as well, okay? Would you be willing to drive up to Queens right now and kind of show us where we need to go?
I don't drive.
You're going to go with us? Yeah, you're okay going with us? Yeah. How'd you get here?
Manual?
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable with manual going?
Yeah.
After agreeing to help detectives, Brianna seems to regain her composure, speaking calmly and answering questions as if the weight of her confession has already lifted. In the next room, Manny has no idea his girlfriend just confessed and took all the blame. But he's about to find out as detectives prepare to drive both of them to the one place they never wanted anyone to find.
You guys ready?
You okay?
Alright. My legs are kind of like real consistent.
Oh, sorry. This is Sergeant Manuel Guillen. Nice to meet you.
As they prepare to leave, Brianna and Manny are reunited, and it's clear Manny immediately realizes she's told officers the truth. The couple and officers then drive out and hike deep into the woods to recover the body, a grim walk that will lead to what can only be described as a nightmare.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Manuel. There you go. Stay low. Stay low.
Don't worry about me. Got it. Then right here where the rock's at.
Where the rock is?
Where the rock is.
I'm sorry?
The big old rock is right there in the corner?
The one right in our hot spot.
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, she's buried in.
That one just sticking out there like a big old pimple.
With all those
So-
stakes right there.
She's underneath the rock?
Yeah, she's underneath it. Yeah.
Those rocks.
Start walking back?
Yeah. I marked it.
Okay. So, I don't want to keep you guys out of the loop just because you guys came down here, showed us all this, but we're going to do stuff the way we do handle it. And so, what we're going to do is, we got to get a search warrant, of course, but we're going to bring out our other resources and we're going to do this the right way, okay? We're going to hold off. We're going to secure this.
Do we
It's gonna
have your
be a
phone
couple
numbers and
days.
stuff so we can get a hold of you guys?
Well, we got to give them. We got to take them back home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
So it's not like we're just coming, marking, and then leaving. So I just want you to know that that's not what we're doing. So it's going to be a long process, okay? You're 100% certain that's the spot, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you maybe stand by it for you guys?
I think we're good, man. We've been marking it along the way.
By now, officers believe they've found the burial site, but because it's already dark, they halt the search until the following day. Before Brianna and Manny are allowed to leave, detectives instruct them to return at noon. For now, the pair isn't being detained and are treated as two people who may simply be caught in a tragic situation. At least, based on what they're admitting. A far cry from the real truth behind their lies, a horrific truth that police are just hours away from discovering. The next morning, Brianna meets detectives near the search site, but strangely, Manny doesn't join her. Instead, he waits inside a detective's car, refusing to return to the burial location. Brianna then leads investigators back to the wooded area, with forensic experts following behind. She's about to give them the confirmation they've been searching for, even though the couple responsible will eventually still walk free.
Yeah, but that was over there.
That was over there.
Okay, well, I can check over there because that's where the.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I kind of like.
All those.
Right there, that big old,
Okay. You wanna hang out in the shade over there? Thank you.
Hey guys.
Here's a brush if you want us to do.
Yes. Should we try to break it?
Here.
Tragically, this discovery confirms detectives' worst fears. But as investigators examine the remains, something stands out. Although the body has decayed significantly, it still shows signs of possible injuries. Suddenly, Brianna's claims of an accidental suffocation no longer seem as straightforward as she described, and detectives now need to get to the bottom of what really happened. So while forensics continue their work, a detective speaks with Manny, hoping to determine whether Brianna is telling the truth or if she's just protecting him. What Manny says next makes one thing unmistakably clear. He has no intention of taking responsibility.
I mean, we get it that the baby passed away and you and Brianna buried the baby out here. Why would you try to hide that fact?
I think I remember the baby was being really fussy. And Brianna was like, you know what, let's just go outside first. So we went outside and we tried, maybe going to the car and then turning it on, and maybe, with the help of the car being turned on and the vibration, probably helped with her to sleep.
See, I can understand that. For as much as you want closure in this, you don't think that I want closure. I have my own babies. But the only way that I can get that closure, man, is if you guys just help us. And by helping us, I mean, just be honest with us. Was the baby, was the baby in a backpack? Did you put the baby in something?
Just bags and kids.
And where you roughly showed us, that's where you remember to the best of your knowledge as well.
Despite the detective's efforts to get any reaction out of him, Manny remains completely emotionless, taking no responsibility, and insists it was nothing more than an accident caused by Brianna. With Brianna already taking all the blame, detectives have no choice but to accept their statements for now, and the interview with Manny is wrapped up. Back at the burial site, forensics finish documenting the scene, and the remains are sent for autopsy. At this point, officers could arrest the couple for tampering with evidence. They already admitted to burying the body, but detectives make a different decision and let the couple walk free. On the surface, it seems like a strange choice, but in reality, it's a calculated move that will become crucial later on. With that decision, the scene is cleared and the day is wrapped up. Back at the station, investigators regroup to discuss their plan. They agree that letting the couple go, at least temporarily, is what's best for the investigation. There is no autopsy yet, no confirmed cause of death, and no clear way to prove who is responsible. If Brianna and Manny were arrested immediately, they would almost certainly lawyer up, and detectives would lose the only chance to confront them once the medical evidence comes back. By waiting, investigators gain a strategic advantage, the opportunity to secure a confession when the autopsy reveals the truth. But their plan comes with major risk. The couple is now completely free to disappear, and what detectives don't know yet is that Manny has family in Mexico. Over the following week, investigators wait for the autopsy results and begin searching for anything that could help strengthen their case. They're certain Brianna hasn't told the full truth, and with Manny's history of abuse involving his previous child and wife, there is every reason to suspect foul play in their daughter's death. So to gain more insight into the couple, detectives arrange to meet Brianna's aunt, Ruby, at her workplace. At this point, Ruby has no idea that her grandniece is long gone. And once detectives break the tragic news to her, she will make it clear just how big of a mistake it was to let the couple walk free.
If it's okay, is it okay if I ask you some questions before we get started? Okay, so how did this all come about?
I was 6 years old. I've had her. She lived with me at age 23. She left. In and out. You know, once they turn 18, they know it all. She got pregnant from some guy out of Texas. She was excited to be a mom. But when she met this guy she's with now, she messaged me, "Dia, I have my baby." I rushed to the hospital.
Where was that?
Here.
Here in Carlsbad?
Yes, sir. I took pictures with the baby, and he got upset. Before he walked out that room, he whispered something in her ear, and I looked at him like, I said, is he mad? She says, "Yes, Dia, he's mad." I said, "Well, I don't care if he gets mad. I want to take pictures of the baby, me and the baby." Her brothers was sending her money every Fridays to help her out with the baby. He would ask her, "Where's my baby niece? I want to meet my baby niece."
And her brother,
There's no baby
Brian.
niece. Her brother, Brian. I spoke to him last night. He goes, "I haven't heard nothing, Dia." Well, her brother ended up calling her. They argued, and he told her, "Hey, I'm not going to be sending you any more money if you don't bring me my baby niece to meet her. I don't even know her." Every time they go, he said she'd get the money and go. And there's no baby. And she said she left it with an aunt. We're the only aunts. Me, one from Roswell, and the other two, they ain't even capable of taking care of a kid.
Ruby would continue describing more concerning behavior from the couple, especially Manny's anger and hostility around Brianna's daughter. But as she talks, she begins to sense that the detective sitting across from her may already know far more about her grandniece's condition than she does.
Is there a baby? Did they take him in for questioning?
Do you have any other questions?
Or are they in the loose? Or is there a baby?
So, the baby, there was a...
But y'all found her.
I know, but we still have... I know, and this is part of the judicial system that we have to do.
No, they should be locked up. They should be locked up. Taking her to her doctor's visits or anything.
So, it's still under investigation. There's still a lot of questions we have, okay?
Well, what are they saying?
Again, we haven't really spoke to them, okay?
They're gonna be gone. If you go find them, they're gonna be gone. He's had family in Mexico. He has family. His mom's from Mexico. They have family in Juarez.
Through her grief, she warns them about something they hadn't fully considered. The couple could already be on the run, especially with Manny's connections in Mexico. Additionally, her description of Brianna as a follower only reinforces what investigators heard before. It's starting to make sense to detectives why Brianna would take the blame, even if Manny played a bigger role in what happened. By now, though, Ruby is devastated, knowing she will never see her grandniece again. Her reaction is far more emotional than anything detectives have seen from Brianna. But sadly, the tragic news doesn't stop there, because Ruby is about to hear the most disturbing part about her grandniece's death.
They killed her. He killed her. I know he did. I could have had that baby. I could have raised her.
Do you know who the dad is of the baby?
No, we don't know him.
Nobody knows?
Nobody knows who he is.
The baby has been sent up to Albuquerque for an autopsy.
How many months was she?
So you're gonna
was
do
it before she turned 1?
Probably.
Oh my God.
I don't know how old she was exactly, but I'm guessing a month to 2 months.
When she passed away. My God. So she. Oh my
and again,
God.
I'm just going off the information that I was told.
I bet that he stopped breathing because all he did was, when I got to that car, it smelled like bad, like. I bet that he couldn't even breathe. Why are they still out in the news? Well, will you know about the autopsy?
It takes about 6 months.
God, they'll be gone. They'll be gone.
That's why we don't want them. We don't want to spook them, one. And
They've
don't
already got spooked. The minute y'all discovered that this morning, they are gone. They're gone. I know they're gone.
Ruby is justifiably furious. She wants justice even if it means putting her own niece behind bars. But without an autopsy, detectives still don't have definitive proof of how Brianna's daughter died or who is responsible. Making an arrest now could jeopardize the case. With that uncertainty hanging over the investigation, detectives wrap up the interview with Ruby. At this point, they still believe waiting is a safer option, but that decision comes with a dangerous consequence. It gives the couple exactly what they need: time to run, disappear, and make sure they're never found. Over 2 months later, the autopsy results finally come in, and the findings are more disturbing than anyone imagined. The report reveals multiple injuries in the child's system. Most importantly, the manner of death is ruled a homicide. For the first time, detectives have confirmation that foul play was involved. Now they need to figure out which one of them is responsible, and more importantly, where they are. Detectives are quickly sent out to search for the couple, but they're nowhere to be found. Days turn into weeks, and every possible address comes up empty. It begins to look like Ruby was right all along. The couple may have disappeared for good and gotten away with the murder of her grandniece. 8 full weeks pass, and still no sign of Brianna or Manny. Then, in February, detectives receive a tip that the couple has returned and is quietly staying at Manny's father's trailer at a nearby park. It's the first real lead since the autopsy. Officers are dispatched, but they're told to keep the encounter calm and convince the couple to come in voluntarily. The goal is to extract a confession, not spook them into running again. Minutes later, they arrive at the trailer park, hoping this time the pair won't slip away.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Good. Hey, are your kiddos home?
Yeah, they're sleeping.
Oh, okay. Hi. Nice to see you again.
How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Can you call him?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Brianna, can you call Brianna?
Sir, can you just call Brianna out just for now?
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind.
Brianna, can I call you?
Hi, Miss Brianna. Some things have come up, and I would want to know if you'd like the chance or the opportunity to speak with us on it. Okay, would you mind going to our station, just sit down and have a conversation where it's a little more...
Yeah, we ask them. And,
You'll go? Okay.
We just want to share some things out. So.
Yeah.
We'll give you a ride and then we'll bring you right back.
You don't have any knives or anything on you? Okay, do you mind if I just password you just really quick, just to make sure you don't have anything on you? No, you're good. Okay.
Brianna doesn't ask a single question and simply steps into the back of the cruiser. A strangely calm reaction considering she's been out of sight for months. But things are about to get even stranger once officers call Manny to come out.
One more time.
One more time, huh? One more
How's
time.
it going?
Hey.
Good, good. You mind coming and talking with us? Are you good with that? Okay.
Cool.
All right. Okay.
We're gonna ride over, yeah.
Just as a precaution, I just gotta pat you down to make sure you don't have it. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. Sure.
Thank you. We'll be back.
Manny's reaction is just as baffling as Brianna's. He also agrees to come along without asking a single question. An odd level of cooperation for a couple who's avoided police for nearly 2 months. The pair is quickly transported to the station. Upon arrival, they're separated immediately. Detective Amanda Keller leads both interrogations. Investigators need to determine which one of the two is responsible or whether they both played a role. If they can't sort that out, prosecutors may never be able to prove who actually killed the child, and both Brianna and Manny could walk away without a single murder charge. For the Keller couple, everything is on the line as well. If one of them slips up, they risk a life sentence. But if they both stick to the same story, there's a chance they get nothing more than tampering charges or even walk out completely free for the second time.
Knock, knock. Hi, Miss Brianna. Did you get some water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I usually don't drink. I usually drink.
So I know it's been a while. So again, my name's Amanda Keller. This is Edward Aranda. So we're here today to, like we said out there, basically this investigation is coming to an end. And we just had additional questions for you. How did that night start off?
Well, okay. I was tired, and after I gave birth and all that, I got depression pills. So I would take those. And when that time happened, I took that and I took allergy pills. Okay. So whenever that happened, okay, because the whole car thing, I know I said that, but the actual thing was we were in the bed and I slept over her.
So you woke up, baby was cold, you started doing CPR. What about Manny? What is Manny doing?
You know, I mean, I tried doing it myself, but then he freaked out, like, oh shit, like, what's happening?
Okay, and then what did you decide to do?
I just put a plastic bag and everything and decided to do that.
I guess I'm just confused as to why y'all would say that you were living in the vehicle.
No, we were just staying in, I don't know. I don't know why I said that. I was just freaked out.
Got you.
That's why.
Brianna still clings to the claim that her daughter's death was accidental, and through it all, she continues defending Manny, insisting he had nothing to do with it. What Brianna doesn't know is that police already have an autopsy that directly contradicts her explanation of what happened that night, and the detective is about to use it to completely dismantle her story.
So she did test positive for... Do you know why that would be?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you use... Does Manny use... Has he used...
He hasn't used it whenever we got together or anything that I know.
Okay.
We're just trying to figure out why are these lab results telling us this? We know you know. Did he use often? It's a very addicting.
It is.
Does he still use? No. Well, that's good.
No. He changed to weed. to make him like, you know, not withdraw.
Yeah.
Like him to do.
That's good. How long did he use for?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is it like some months? Is it some years?
Brianna's hesitation to admit Manny's drug use only confirms what detectives already suspect. She's hiding the truth, and she seems far more focused on protecting Manny than revealing what happened to her own daughter. But Brianna's denials are about to end, because detectives still have more gruesome details from the autopsy, things only a truly evil parent could do.
So, when we review the autopsy, there were also some injuries to her bones. And one was before she had passed. Do you know why she would have injuries to her or to her leg? Did you ever leave her with anybody? So it was primarily either you or Manny around her at all times.
Did you really fall asleep on Khalanie?
Yeah.
That's what killed her?
Were you guys arguing and he may have taken it out on Khalanie, or was she upset?
I just feel like he didn't like the crying all the time.
This was just one time? All the time? But when you hurt her, was this just one time or was this all the time?
It was just once.
Once.
He would never, like, ever, just that time.
So he just lost his cool.
Just kind of get out of hand.
He seems like a real mellow guy.
Yeah.
It's not that. I just feel like when he went to the military, I feel like it changed him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that can happen. And if you don't get help for it, it just kind of backs up.
I was like that once too. Then I got help because I was always trying to kill him.
Yeah.
For the first time, Brianna isn't blaming herself. She's hinting that Manny may have played a role in the child's death. It is at this point, detectives decide to pause the interrogation and give her a short break, worried that she might shut down completely if they push any harder. But when they return to the room, something has changed. Brianna can't hide the truth any longer. She's about to break and finally reveal what happened to her daughter that fateful night.
Do you really think he's going to be honest, or do you think he's going to put it on you?
I'm not really sure. If you put it on me, I'll be like, you did it, not me.
That's why we're giving you
It's fine if you tell it. It's fine if he
Yeah.
blames me.
Why is that fine?
That shouldn't be fine.
You think that's right?
No.
Why did you say earlier if you felt like if you had met somebody else that...
Because none of this would happen.
Why is that?
I don't know, I just feel like he's different, like, ever since he went to the military.
It's okay, Will.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Have you moved back?
Do what?
So now I have moved back.
I get it. You don't have to. You know that, right?
Ways of helping you.
You don't have to go back there.
You don't feel trapped.
You don't have to go back there.
Why do you let yourself go?
Because I have nowhere else to go.
You can find somewhere for you to go. You know your family loves you. I know that you fight.
I'm sure they do.
They do.
I'm sure.
They do. Even still, they still take up for you. They still ask about you if we've heard from you. They love you. They do. Regardless of what's happened.
Not my Aunt Ruby. All my life, I've lived with her. She would get at me.
Brianna, this is the first steps, though.
This is.
This is.
This is.
I should have done this soon.
But it's okay, but you're doing it now. That's the point, is you're doing it now.
Yeah, now's late when it should have happened.
But it's not too late, right? It's not too late.
Do you feel safe, Brianna? Is what we're getting at. Do you want our help? Do you want us to give you a little bit of time to think real quick?
We'll find you a Coke.
Try to find you something.
I feel safe. I just, like I said, I don't know
how he's gonna react.
Like, if we ask him stuff like this.
Brianna's lies are unraveling before her eyes. She says the military changed Manny, insisting that if it weren't for him, her daughter would still be alive. As she breaks down, even the detectives grow emotional. With Brianna's side of the story now revealed, detectives wrap up the interview and move her into another room, ready to question the person they believe is the real killer. This time, their strategy is different. They plan to confront him with evidence almost immediately and see whether his version of events aligns with Brianna's. But after avoiding consequences for more than a year, Manny still believes he can talk his way out of trouble. And the worst part is, he might be right.
Just get your finger on the head bolts in there, whatever one you want.
What kind of medication did you take that night?
I didn't take medication. I took pills of
So what does that normally do to you? How does that affect your body?
It knocks me out.
It does what, I'm sorry?
It knocks me out.
Knocks you out? Like just makes you tired?
Just puts me to sleep, just out cold.
Okay, so even in that time, right, she can't hold her head up, right? She can't crawl. So she's very dependent on somebody, right? To hold her, to move her, right? She can't just put something in her mouth or however. Okay, so how would she have... So who else could have been around her and smoked it or somehow?
No goodness.
Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Do you see how we're kind of... If you're smoking it, how did the baby get a hold of it?
That's what I don't understand either.
Manny's admission to taking the drugs only further confirms detectives' suspicions. At this point, he is their primary focus, and investigators believe he's the one responsible for their daughter's death. So they stop circling around the topic and decide to fully accuse Manny of murder to see if they can break his story and elicit a confession.
This is your knee, essentially, right? And right here it was injured. Do you see that? It's more of a, this is like an actual, this is more of like a...
Diagram.
Yeah, like here's your, right? And then it's right here on the corner of that finger. Do you know why she would have had injury right there?
No, miss. The only thing that, from what I would know, the only thing that worried me was her probably being, because whenever we did do the CPR, that's what only caused the injuries that I would know, like.
Nobody ever yanked her leg or nothing like that?
No, sir.
Okay.
Manuel, I'm going to be honest with you. We know what happened. Like, the facts don't lie on the autopsy report, okay? We know that the injuries occurred before death. Alright, so that CPR doesn't play a fact, okay? So, medical examiners have a way of proving injuries before death, because the bone will actually start to try to heal almost immediately. Does that make sense? You're still getting blood flow and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the science behind it, but based off what happened, the injuries were prior to death, meaning she was still alive when the injuries occurred. All injuries. Does that make sense?
As detectives continue laying out the evidence against him, Manny sits stone-faced. This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance. With all cards on the table and murder accusations in front of him, Manny could shut down the entire interrogation, ask for a lawyer, and refuse to answer another question. What happens next will determine not only his fate, but Brianna's as well.
Just tell us, man. I already know.
She was being fussy, and I got upset, and got to buy her leg and yanked her, and she wouldn't stop crying, so I sat on top of her.
Okay.
That was it.
How long did you sit on top of her?
Not long. Maybe like a minute. Maybe less, a little bit. I don't know.
Until what?
She stopped crying. And then that's it.
when did you know that shit?
Whenever I got her, she stopped crying, so I thought she was like, oh gosh. I checked her, and she wasn't.
Okay. And then what?
And that's when we started doing CPR.
Okay. Were you panicking? Didn't know what happened? Why did y'all call 911?
That was my call. Brianna wanted to call him, but I told her not to.
Just freaked out and just were scared.
What was Brianna doing when everything was happening?
I think she was in the kitchen. I don't know. When she came in, I told her, I was like, he's not breathing. Get CPR.
Did she see what happened? She didn't see it. There's no way of her stopping you or nothing like that. Was that the first time you had lost your temper? Was it just the constant crying just kind of got to you, or just a split second just kind of lost it?
Manny finally admits he snapped and killed Brianna's daughter in a moment of rage. Following his confession, both suspects are taken into custody. Manny on charges of child resulting in death, and Brianna for tampering with evidence and helping bury the body. But despite a murder confession, both Brianna and Manny will ultimately walk out of jail. As of September 2025, both have been released on bond while awaiting trial. They are, right now, free, unrestricted, unsupervised, and able to disappear at any moment. Manny is likely facing a life sentence if convicted. Brianna, for her role in hiding the body, is expected to receive a significantly shorter term, but that's only if they show up to court. With Manny's family ties in Mexico and both suspects currently out in the world, there is always a chance they could vanish again, this time for good.